I'm Tiffany Spell. I'm the lender that sits over here. I'm here 24/7. I work 24/7. If you don't see me in here, I always have my cell phone. Any of you that are working before know, you can text me if I'm on the other line with a client. I'm like, hold on, I got Meredith calling, and click over. Leave me a voicemail, send me a text. Half the time I see you call, and I call you back anyways. When I'm with a customer, I don't answer the phone either because let's just face it, they need my undivided attention as much as I need theirs when we're putting something into the system. Okay? Alright. Let's start with contracts. What I'm doing in this class is basically over the last couple months, if something has happened that has delayed a closing or opened up another can of worms or something else, I've been writing in a book. No lie, every time something happens, I write it down because I wanted to do this class where I could help you be better real estate agents, but me, a better loan officer as well, to work together, okay? When you have a contract, you have to make sure the only borrower on that contract is the person that we've pre-approved. Does that make sense? So I understand the wives or the husbands, they will be on that contract. You can put them in the title section all you want. We're a community state, they're gonna go on title anyways. That actually helps me because sometimes I don't know the wife's or the husband's names. Sometimes if you would think they'd be on a bank statement, they don't share bank accounts. So that's fine, but if you come to us and you've got Mary Jo and Bob Smith, and I've only qualified Mary Jo, Bob Smith has to now have an addendum removing him from that contract. What we ran into before, Teresa, I'm gonna use mine and yours, or Jennifer, just so you know. We had where the wife thought that she could go on a loan. I never pulled credit, I never did anything. I assumed she knew she wasn't going on. Jennifer assumed that she knew she wasn't going on. She had a heart failure when we were taking her off this addendum. Looking back at it, I can see where we're halfway through the process and all of a sudden an addendum comes up and we're removing a buyer. That's what we want to avoid. She was very scared, she didn't understand why, she didn't understand the whole 50-50 rule in North Carolina. So that's where you kind of watch it. My pre-approval letter should always match your contract on that line. If you get it and the husband and wife are telling you, no, we're both on there, and I only have one, pick up the phone call. Because if there's two, I need to be putting them both on there, and 9 times out of 10 I do. Okay? Make sure all agent info is in there, please. For both sides, I have all of you saved into the system, but I may not have somebody on the listing side from a different company saved into the system. When we're ordering the appraisal, who do they contact? The listing agent. So if I don't have their contact, I'm stuck before I'm ordering an appraisal. Okay? FHA, VA financing, have you guys seen some of the builders contracts that they have with their own little world contract? Yeah. Like, I don't say any names, D.R. Horton. You have to have an FHA VA financing that is attached to every contract you have, if it's an FHA or a VA buyer. It's kind of common sense, right? These contracts where the builders have their own contracts, most of them know that. They don't have the specific FHA VA financing addendum like you guys do, but they put the verbiage in there. If it's in there, I can roll with that all day long. But then I have to sit and read a contract line to line until I can find it, because of course they don't make it a one little page or, you know, highlight the paragraph for me. So if you guys are giving them, you need to make sure that verbiage is in there. Does anybody know what that verbiage is? No? Nobody.
But in the event it doesn't appraise that the buyer
Right.
is obligated or levy will be refunded.
Did y'all hear Sharonda? Gotta be louder,
I
Sharonda.
put it in my mouth.
It's where if the home doesn't appraise for value, the buyer's not responsible for moving forward or paying the difference in cash, and that they get their money back. Everybody know? Okay. It will hold up your appraisal. I don't have that FHA fine. Trust me, y'all know me. I'll slip some through, try to get something done in a heartbeat. They're catching me fast. If I don't have it on there, they do not order it. They used to order them and be like, okay, Tiff, get it to me, but then I would have trouble tracking down, getting the listing agent, especially when it's not on contract, getting it from them, getting it executed by everybody to where it was coming in the last minute. Sometimes I would forget. So by that point, I'm thinking, we're good, we're going to close, and I've got the appraisal. No, you're not. You're missing one form, a form we should have had in the beginning. So guess who looks like the bad guy? Yours truly. Because now I've delayed their closing, when in all reality, I'm saying this nicely, the agent delayed the closing by not getting that from the beginning. You should have it in your contract. Make sure too, a lot of you don't get these, and I know you don't get them as quickly as you get me a contract, that's fine. The earnest money due diligence check, we need those copies. I have to match them to their bank accounts to be able to give them proof of it. Please don't take cash, please. If you do, you have to photocopy it. Then I have to find the person's withdrawal on their bank statement that matches what money you just took a photocopy of. Guess what? They don't always just withdraw $500 for $5 earnest money. I get a Walmart purchase, $700. Some of it's groceries, some of it's the cash they took out. When you go back to a buyer and you're like, hey, I can verify these things. I'm old school, so I'm used to back in the day doing things where we have to ask. 10 pages were it. I had a key for you in 3 days. I did my own closings, notarized them, everything. Total see why the mortgage business crashed. I get it. But the thing is when we go back to someone, it's about looking in their bank statements. I don't know what it is. It triggers them. Why do you need to know that? Why? I don't care. I don't care where you shop. I don't care what deposit you have, but I have to track them all. So if you could get a check, I know people don't use them a lot, get it. Money order is the same thing as cash. I gotta show the withdrawal, but I can make more sense of a $502. How much is okay, $502 from Walmart on that day matches rather than me trying to source where they took this cash out. And with my luck, there's a large deposit of cash before that now I have to address. Make sense? So I know a lot of you can't get them up front because you get the contract and then you're waiting sometimes for people to have payday to bring earnest money due diligence. Make a copy of it when you get it and get it to us. Okay?
Now you know why we ask for you to keep it in document. So you have it there when she needs it.
So slow to go to the next thing, but okay. I think I might have done that. We're almost there. Are we there? Got it. So I want to go over this with you. This is movement. I'm not speaking of any other lender, nor will I ever, but here's how our process works. And I'm going to show you my process. Can I close a loan in 8 days? You darn right. I have to have my hair done the very next week. I don't want to talk to any of you during that process. It's not the easiest thing to do, only because of the third parties that we have to deal with on the outside, okay? One being the appraiser. They're given 7 to 10 business days. Y'all know just as much as I do, that doesn't happen. We start from us taking the application. Once everything comes in and the disclosures are signed, it's then gone to upfront underwriting. If there's any problems that I miss or that come up verifying employment, you're notified immediately up front, okay? By the 6th and 7th day, by then we should have title and homeowner's insurance. I get a quote for every single person that walks into my office. Not just for them to use that person, but to compare. We all know USAA is triple the price right now for insurance. We'll get to that. I'm gonna come back to that. By the 7th day, we have a CD issue. Yes, we get buyers that are like, I thought this was the 3 day before closing. It is, but I don't want to have to wait. So by the 7th day, if I don't have a CD out, I'm emailing, where's my homeowner insurance, where's my title insurance? We need to get these things done when we get the CDs. We do not have to have an appraisal back to send a CD. Now that's movement. Again, I'm not speaking for other companies. Let me go ahead and start this since it takes like 4 years to go to the next screen. I'm clicking it. There we go. Are we there?
Yeah.
All the way there? Jeez. Okay. Here's how our process. So you know when you get us a contract, what we do. Contracts are taken in by Joseph and I. We handle all the pre-approvals. Once it comes in, and a welcome email is sent to you as the agent, the listing agent, so they have our contact information. This is where the key comes in to make sure the listing agent contact information is on the contract. We then, rates. The welcome email is sent just to tell them, to introduce each of us as a person, what's our role for each step that they're gonna be going through. The documents are requested again, as long as we don't have them already. Most of the time, when we know they're getting ready to write a contract, we tell them 30-day pay stubs, banks, go ahead and get them to us in a file storage. When that contract comes in, we're not waiting on those things to be able to order disclosures. I need those documents before I can order the disclosures. Let's talk about disclosures for a minute. Everybody knows the new law that was passed in October of 2015 with the CD, correct? Does everybody really understand what that law was? You're saying no? Oh,
I did.
okay. I
I
didn't
have a lot of people who haven't closed one, so they don't know some of the rules and regulations.
Okay, so I have a love-hate relationship with this law. I love it because it's finally something that protects the borrower, the bank as well, but pretty much most of the borrower. We have to make sure that when we disclose to a borrower, everything that most possibly could be charged has to be shown to them. So you'll see a loan estimate, not a closing disclosure, a loan estimate go out that looks exactly like your closing disclosure, but it says loan estimate, come out, that goes to the borrower in the very beginning. The final inspection fees on there, we all know we have no idea if we need a final inspection fee at that point. But 9 times out of 10 we do, so it's disclosed. Title insurance is over disclosed, homeowner's insurance is over disclosed, and I wanna say we have pets inspection, a few things that we put on the buyer side, that are not necessarily on the buyer side, but it saves us that window of not having to redisclose. I have a conversation with every single borrower that I just had with you. I know you will tell you. We have to overestimate. I can go, when I order disclosures, I take out what I know is not gonna be charged. Like there's the extra title insurance, we don't use that, we don't need it. But when it goes to corporate for them to send those disclosures out, they put that stuff right back in there because it's a protection for me and the borrower. I try to get as close as possible, like when you take those fees out, I go step by step with these borrowers. The thing that I can't get them to understand is that big word that's at the top of it. Does everybody know what the big word is? Estimate. They're gonna read it, I can highlight it, I bold it, make it 54 font, it does not matter. They hold me to that estimate, but don't remember the word estimate. Make sure you guys don't, they call you for it, you know what, I can't, let Tiffany handle this thing. I don't know why. $5. Be glad Jackie didn't let me do the $100 thing. I tried. Let me go, because I've explained it so much, I feel like I'm talking probably in my sleep explaining the same disclosure over and over again. It's hard for you, I couldn't explain your job just like, I would hope you guys don't try to explain mine, okay? Once we get the disclosures back from the borrower, has the appraisal form attached to the bottom, that's when the appraisal can be ordered. Everybody understand that? The file's then shipped to underwriting. It's there. We're on a 6-hour turnaround time for underwriting right now.
That's awesome.
Oh, and I'm a little cray-cray when it comes to that. 5.5 hours, I'm clicking in there. We can click in the system and see if there's an underwriter, like the underwriter that's assigned to it, we can see who's in the file. If they're not in, I'm like, you got 29 minutes and 16 seconds. I mean, we stay on top of it because I love nothing more than to get that email back, have 2 conditions, insurance appraisal, and closing disclosure to be signed. Ship that to the borrower, ship it to you guys. If you haven't noticed, you're now getting weekly updates. Is everybody getting those updates? Do you like them? Are they working? Is it nice to, okay. I can't have the appraiser contacted until that 8th day. Does that make sense? If we call before then, we get the little attitude of, we have 7 to 10 business days, blah, 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 and they're not gonna talk. I don't wanna make them matter to where they're gonna delay me some more. For whatever reason, for these past 2 weeks, every appraiser in this town has a computer issue. Every single one of them. Once we have the approved, the final condition list is sent out, you guys are then notified that we have full approval. That CD better be out by then, and all we're waiting on is the appraisal. So do you see how we could easily close a loan in 8 days? Title is the only thing that really holds up a CD. By the 7th day, if we don't have something, we're contacting the attorney's office. By the 10th day, if we don't have anything, and your welcome email you get, not your welcome, your update email, I'm sorry. You're gonna have in bold at the very top, we still do not have title. CD has not been sent. You're notified. You see, I put chase down appraisal because literally, that is all I do is chase constantly, these appraisers. And then we're prepared for closing. So when that thing comes in, the appraisal, we're done. CD's already been back for ample amount of time. Appraisal's in, we can close the next day as long as there's not a final inspection. Here's something that happened last week. Everybody knows what a repair escrow agreement is? Yes? You cannot have a repair escrow agreement or hold for escrows if that appraisal comes back as is, period. They're still going to look at it if it's a structural problem. We got roofs caving in, you know, if it's a big repair, they're still, even if it's on that appraisal, they probably still won't let you do it. I'm talking paint, carpet, appliances, these kinds of things, very small, minute things we can escrow for. Don't let you go back $20,000 to escrow for all of these repairs, okay? Everybody understand that? Appraisals as is, doesn't matter what your contract reads, cannot be held.
But doesn't it turn into a conflict between the buyer and seller if the seller saying, okay, I agree to leave a paint allowance? And
Yeah, I
then-
had one Friday, actually.
Yeah, so then, you know, the buyer's gonna be upset that he's not, because that's not the terms that he agreed to purchase the house.
Now, but if
But he
they,
also agreed to a higher price.
Well,
but if you,
That's the situation.
Okay, but if the price is not
The issue.
right.
Then you're back in negotiations.
well, can you, if you have an invoice from the person who's gonna do the work, it's not being escrowed then, the check is cut and,
Correct. That's how we ended up, that's what I was gonna check, that's how we ended up handling it. The problem was that this agent didn't believe me that we could escrow with an as-is appraisal. Then it was kind of accusing me because the contract goes to the appraiser, the entire contract. Never in 17 years have I seen an appraiser say, yeah, I know you're gonna do a new roof and I show that's escrowing, but we're not gonna give you any value for that roof. Never. Put it as deferred maintenance. I called him, somebody called him, argued, contacted VA, would not do, same appraiser that couldn't get his computer to work for 5 days to even upload the darn appraisal. They're allowed to do what they want. It's kind of where I ended up Friday afternoon. I argued till I was blue in the face, and I'm a really good arguer. I was really mad that I didn't win. The thing, what made me so mad is if he would have given the person value for the roof, all I wanted him to do was he had it on the contract. It showed on the contract that we were going to escrow for this roof. Add it as a repair so I can then escrow. Refused.
okay, so an appraiser, right, because I just had one that closed, VA loan, that he called me and said, okay, I see in the contract that there's gonna be a new roof. Is that correct? And I was like, yes. And he goes, okay, I can add value because he was close. And he added value.
This is the only one I've ever heard of.
Ever.
So word of caution to buyer and listing agent, don't assume. You know, you may have had 50 appraisals that gave value for a roof. And there's a lot of other things like the condition, when you read what a condition is and the quality of construction and things like that, that can be highly variable depending on the appraiser. It can make a huge difference. And so, and you know, and also have a conversation with your buyers because this appraisal came in $15,000 low and the comps were there to support the original contract price. So now the buyer wants the house that's $15,000 less and the $7,000 roof.
And walk away with all our money. Then some. So, our first thing, of course, was, well, the house didn't appraise. So, what are we gonna take off? Well, there was no taking off. Then it got into the fist fight of I could escrow and I could not escrow. Then it was getting a hold of the appraiser to get the appraisal back to us. So make sure that you're having those conversations with them that, I wish I could put estimate at the top of a contract too. Bold, escrow.
Does the lender call, who calls Tidewater? The lender or the appraiser?
I'm getting to that. That's my next slide.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, it's gonna take us a while to get there. Wait for it. It's coming. We're almost there.
Magic.
Yeah, okay. Tidewater 101 for your VA loans. Is everybody paying attention to me? Because I swear if I have to say this, after this, I'm gonna be so mad at all of you. Are you listening? When we get a Tidewater, does everybody know what a Tidewater is? Okay. A Tidewater is when a VA appraisal is coming in under value. Okay, did y'all hear me say they get a copy of the contract? Okay? They know all terms and everything's going on with this deal. We literally get an email of a Tidewater. No, it does not tell me what it's coming in at. Everybody hear that? No, we do not get told at that time, it's 5,000 short, I'm coming up 10,000. They don't tell us anything other than here's your property, here's your veteran, you have Tidewater, you have 48 hours to get it back to you. Now erase that 48 hours, I do 24. Because if I tell a listing agent 48 hours and that person sends me that thing at 47 hours, I am not a happy camper. Because if that thing comes at 9 o'clock that night, I have to get it to VA because then I'm setting my buyer up.
Is it only on VA or is it only VA that has to give the listing agent opportunity to bring up value?
Only on VA. Only on VA is what you'll get a Tidewater for. No other, we're gonna get to that too.
Can it be on in contingencies? Tidewater does not address contingencies, or that's separate?
Separate. Tidewater is just value. VA, when we get that Tidewater, I make my girls drop what they're doing and it gets sent out that very second. We don't play with that because I know that it's time consuming and you have the grid. They will not take you sending me MLS listings and attaching that. You have to fill out the grid. I don't do that. Don't ask me to fill out the grid. Because you're not going to value. I don't know how to fill those things out. That's just not what I do. The grid, if I'm not mistaken, is what you guys do when you're comparing comparables anyways, no? What is the, does anybody, nobody
It's
has
just like on an appraisal.
I have it on my computer.
the grid format
It
thing?
basically looks just like when you get your appraisal back,
Where the
and you
comps
have the
are?
subject property with the comps and
Yeah.
the rows, that's what the Tidewater is, except you're pulling it all in. The difference is, unless you really know what all the different terms mean, it can be tricky because there is quality of construction, has age, has condition, and those kind of things. I did a lot of Googling and a lot of, I would start keeping any appraisal you have, like in a loop. I have a loop in .loop that says appraisals. And any copy of appraisal I get, whether on the buyer side or seller side, I'm keeping them. So that way I can go back to them and use them as reference. Because that's values that appraisers have given for a double garage or a full bag.
And you
And
can
you'll see
use
the big
those as
range.
comps. VA appraisals are good for 6 months. FHA is good for 4 months, so is conventional. VA, I'm coming to you. VA, I found this out the other day with, Trenton. Was it yours we found out that it was, I think. Anyways, the appraisals cannot be transferred, it was yours.
Yes.
The appraisals cannot be transferred. Remember how back in the day, if it had been 6 months?
It
It
stayed
didn't
on the
matter.
house.
Yeah, you were using that other appraisal to get it transferred. Now it's only for that veteran. Exactly. So let's say the veteran doesn't like ABC mortgage, comes to me, but has already had the appraisal done, I can use that appraisal because, or appraisal, I have to, it's coming with that borrower. But if Lisa's gonna purchase now this house, the appraisal is nothing. However, you can use it for comparable purposes. Yes. Go ahead.
I had a lender tell me the appraisal came in short, except for, I wasn't told. And they said it was up to the lender whether they forward that Tidewater to, and in their estimate, it was better for their borrower, so that's why they didn't forward it.
Okay, that's a load of crap.
Yeah,
Um,
I figured,
and
but
I figured that's like going against banking commission guidelines as well. You have
Valid
to.
complaint.
the 48 hours had expired, and then they
And
did.
there is no going back after 48 hours, I will
No,
tell you.
and it had
tell that.
expired and that's when they forwarded me the appraisal.
Now, we
My
have
bad.
been
So they were
running
trying to hold
into,
tie your hand.
which they can't do. I mean, that's none of our business. I have been getting, because I'm the first when an appraisal pops in my email and it's short, where's my Tidewater? It's the first thing I'm looking for because I'm all about, you gotta follow, if I follow the rules, they need to follow the rules too. I've had where they've been reaching out to the listing agent themselves, the appraisers have.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, well, I figured you would have mentioned that part. But if they do that, then I can't come back and fight that there wasn't a Tidewater issue. I tried on this last deal we had for Friday's closing. I don't think it's fair when we weren't given a Tidewater, blah, blah, blah. Well, I remember the Tidewater's not for me. It's not for the buyer, it's for the listing agent. So if they've already contacted the listing agent, I have no control over how they handle that. Does that make sense? So basically, instead of issuing the Tidewater formally, they're calling and saying, I'm coming in low, send me your comps. Half the time, I don't even know about those things that happen. You can, does anybody know what a reconsideration is? A value, reconsideration of value is if you go through the Tidewater process and you still don't get it, but you know that house is worth what you're selling it for, what your seller is listing it for. The thing with reconsiderations that go back to V8 is the veteran that's purchasing the property has to sign a form agreeing to it. Let me tell you all about this form. I was told the buyer has to sign a form saying they agreed to the Tidewater, so I typed, to whom it may concern, reference the case number, I agreed to the reconsideration of this property value. I got rejected by VA, basically called me dumb. He didn't tell me what he wanted, so I wasn't too sure where that came from. They have to list, the buyer has to list what they think the appraiser missed, granite countertops, whatever the case may be, right.
The buyer?
Yes.
That's a load of crap.
The buyer. I will send you the instructions today. I mean, I have one I have with Amethyst right now. With Amethyst, I'm like, I don't even know what granite's worth. I wouldn't know these things. The buyer doesn't know these things. So it's something that you're gonna have to go with them. So make sure that when you're doing reconsideration, you really know it's a lot of work to go back just to be told, nope, we're gonna keep what it is. It's a longer process. Tidewater, you have the 48 hours. And you have a little bit of a window coming back if they reach out to you. Reconsideration, you're looking sometimes 4 to 8 weeks for them to come back. VA in our system, that's the only one that I can see who the actual appraiser is. Okay, that does not mean that I can contact them beforehand or at any other time. I can tell you who it is. You are more than welcome to contact them. I would highly suggest you consider who it is before you contact them. The inspections for VA, termite is required on every single VA loan. Say it with me. Every single VA loan. Period is a buyer's expense, which means it's a buyer's agent's responsibility to order them. Everybody got that? Okay. They will delay your closing. We can put it in closing, we can send a package, we can do everything we need. Until we have that termite, they are not authorized to sign and fund that loan, period. If you order one at the last minute, I know it happens. You better cross everything you have that didn't come back dirty, because I have to address it, okay? A well test is required on every house that distributes the drinking water. You remember back in the day where it was only if the property had been vacant for 60 days? Yep, that's gone. That rule's out of here. It's required on every house that distributes drinking water. The septic inspections was a little tough one because we don't know if it's required or not unless the appraiser states it on the appraisal. Now, I don't know what they're looking at to make them want one. I don't know if they ask the questions of how long it's been there. It's up to them. They mark it, I have to address it. Notice of value, NOV. Anybody ever know? Notice of value comes with your appraisal once it's been approved. Okay, for a VA, just for a VA loan. That's where we're told you need a termite, you need a well test, you need to, it lists everything, the public, you know, public authority water. Am I following everybody with me? Okay. That's why you'll hear me say, well, we have the it's in, I can see it, but it's not approved yet. Why I don't like sending them out till they're approved? Because I'm not a SAR. I don't underwrite appraisals. I don't ever want to underwrite appraisals. I wait for that NOV to come back out because if I send you that thing like, we have value, as is. The SAR's job is to come back and be like, no, you don't have value. A SAR, whether you believe it or not, can lower a value on a property or raise. I've never seen them raise, just so you know. But I've seen them lower. Everything has to make sense. Back in the day, I could call Jay Poole, he was my absolute favorite appraiser. 10, 15 years ago, I sent him everything. He was my favorite because he was nice to me, he answered the phone. I didn't really care about the value, but there were people out there who were like, it's the good old boy club. I need you to make this at $150 a bid, $95,000 house. That's a lot of what happened to our market. So they're watching that. That's what the SAR's job is to make sure that the comps that they're providing, and they're saying that it's this, it really has to add up to be that value. Okay, hold on, we're going to the next one. This is ridiculous. I don't.
Tiffany, did you say too with the termite, it's a buyer's expense, but it can be in closing costs?
It can.
But you need to check to see if it's in closing costs, because if it's not, whoever ordered the termite's gonna get a bill in a couple
Well,
of months.
why does it show up on the seller's side though?
Closing
Well,
costs.
it depends, yeah, it depends on how the attorney does yeah, because it'll be on the buyer's side and include on the front, or if there's not enough, then they put on the other side. Tiffany is not ever, ever, ever ordering another termite again in my life, because I've been stuck with like 6 bills.
Oh my God.
Yes, I order, it's my responsibility. And the thing that's, it's a good quality I have, but also a horrible, I will jump in and order and make phone calls, not even thinking, you're about to be responsible for about $1,800 of bills that you just put out, because it is, if you order it, it's your responsibility. But the thing that gets stressful towards the end is you find out someone hasn't done it, this loan's closing in 24 hours, buyers already packed their truck. At the end of the day, we all work for our buyers and sellers. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna let something not close because we don't have anything, so make sure, when you're getting these emails, that's why I've got the girls up. I know it sounds repetitive, but these emails coming over, I want you to be like, nope, I got that, I got that. If you see it pop up on that email, I don't have it. So get it to us. Okay? Everybody knows what a dirty termite is? I thought it was kind of funny. Dirty termite is anything that's marked other than number 4. If you open this 50 little packet that I made you guys, the one that has this team logo on the front, I have a copy of what a dirty termite is and what a clean termite is, okay? Now let's say you have this termite, number 4 is marked, that's your clean one, right? But right down here it says moisture level reading, 54%. Your termite just went dirty. You have to address it. Anything over 20% on the moisture level is not acceptable. Sometimes you can address them with putting, it depends, did it just rain a ton, put fans underneath, start over? You may even go into the vapor barrier. You still have to address it. You cannot close with a dirty termite. Wood debris, I know sometimes they're like, well, there's trash underneath it. All you gotta do is get them to remove it. If you need a structural rudder already, just have him address if the wood debris has been removed. If not, the buyer can actually write that letter. Wood debris has been removed from crawl space. Done. Simple. Okay?
The seller can write it or the buyer can write it?
Either or. Most of the time it ends up being a buyer at that point. Previous infestation, still have to have a structural letter showing that it's clean. And then you know about the moisture level reading. Your water test, even though I know we have one place in Williams-Fayetteville that does these water tests for us, and I still get phone calls, what are you testing for again? What's for BLA? But what do you need? We've been doing this for how many years? We're the only place here. These are the items that are tested for water test requirements. It's also tested for small bacteria. That's just not something they list because it's kind of common sense. So when you call Microvac and they're like, sure, what do you need the water test for? Hang up and call me back. That's why I made you these. I want you to keep these with you in your office, whatever. You can always refer back to them. If there's changes, I will tell you. Lead, nitrates, coliform, and E. coli. Those are the biggest things they're looking for.
Does FHA require?
Yes.
Okay.
If it's required from the appraiser, then we would need the same thing. They're both tested for the same thing.
I thought FHA has something else they could test for.
It depends. And I was going to address that, but it's such a small percentage of when it's done. It's basically when a house is sat forever and ever and ever, which we don't find a lot of those. I mean, even the foreclosures don't sit that long.
We had one that was occupied and they wanted a water pressure test and they wanted one other thing.
When Daniel told me, I called about that. No one in my company has ever heard of that. I called other companies to see if maybe it's just a different requirement. It all depends what the appraiser, your appraiser, I know everybody thinks that it's me or it's you or somebody. The appraiser plays so much of a big part of this transaction than I think you guys realize.
But then why isn't it more uniform? If they have that much control over a transaction, why aren't their requirements more uniform instead of, it's frustrating that like the roof, the appraiser did value, gave value for it, and then the other transaction, nothing.
Y'all know I'm the first to turn someone in when stuff like, it's like the banking commission. Nobody, they get turned, I guess, when more people start, because the thing is there are guidelines, there are rules that they have to follow, they just choose not to follow them. I can sit here and tell you all day, some of these foreclosures that come back, sales price is 129,599, and the appraiser comes back with the exact same sales price. They get to the value and they stop, they're getting lazy. I know that sounds horrible and I have a lot of respect for appraisers in this town or anywhere. But they get to the value and then it stops. I got it, I'm done, there's her appraisal. I've had a buyer back out because the appraisal came back in at what sales price was. They thought they were walking into this with equity. Again, somebody reached out to the appraiser, trying to talk some sense into it. They don't have to listen to me, except for I keep calling. The next part's just things that, y'all know programs more than anything. I just want to kind of go over little pieces of information. So when you're out there, somebody says something, then I do have a new product that I think you guys are going to like if I can ever get it together next thing.
Hey, Tiffany, on the well test too, if you drop them off on Friday, you'll have to pay a rush fee, which is like $80, just to buy out.
The FHA loan, we already discussed this. No Tidewater is issued. They don't have to even tell us anything, anything. The appraisal pops up, it is what it is. I've never fought or been able to fight an FHA appraisal, period. On FHA, we can't see who it is. It goes to a third party called Caris. We literally order through Caris and have to sit here and wait. We follow up, just like when the emails go out to you guys, we follow up. What's the size of the appraisal when they're going out? The one thing that I do like about Caris with FHA is I get an email back that says the inspection date has been set. And it'll tell me the date that they've made with the listing agent. Love the emails that come back and say, we can't find an FHA appraiser in this area to do this in the time you need. Can we have 5 more days? I tell them no, it doesn't always work in my favor, but we at least try to. Do not forget the occupancy rule. Does anybody know what the occupancy rule is for FHA?
60 days.
90.
Okay, I worded that wrong. You cannot, if this person, who in here does early occupancy? None of y'all are raise your hand.
Nobody.
Never.
Sometimes it's okay. FHA, you have to be careful. I almost got busted on this.
You're being recorded.
Hey, I will admit when I do something wrong, and it's not that I did anything, okay, yeah, I kind of screwed it. There were 2 bankruptcies on this person's credit, okay? Sharonda, you helped me get through this. I think I cried every day waiting for that appraisal to come back. There was 2 bankruptcies. I addressed both of those bankruptcies. It's a good loan. Had to flip them from conventional to FHA because of the 2 bankruptcies, but it was fine. It was good. She was putting money down. Great loan. When I found out that one of the houses that was not on her credit report, it was not on there, and it's not like she didn't disclose it to me. It was 2 years ago. She didn't think anything of it. Wasn't on the credit report, didn't see it on the bankruptcy paperwork, it was in there. That's the part where I messed up. Found out the house went into foreclosure, covered in bankruptcy. Y'all know that bankruptcy does not take over that foreclosure. Foreclosure has its own rules. If you have a foreclosure, it's 3 years for FHA, 2 years for VA, okay? Not the date that they went into foreclosure, the date that the deed was transferred out of their name. Does everybody know what that means? For real, you do? Okay. So when all of this went down, when we found out about it, they were driving their kids from Florida in a truck with their car. One guy was in the air, the husband was flying here. Closing was supposed to be that next day. I immediately picked up the phone, called the builder, explained everything that had happened to her. She was amazing. I was bawling my eyeballs out, hiding behind the trash can because I didn't know I didn't know how I was gonna fix this. Don't worry about it. You feel good about it, because the thing was, the 2 years from the foreclosure was 60 days away. They were already here. They'd already left everything. I mean, by this point, I was ready to call Joseph and be like, yep, so we're gonna have family coming in. I don't know what we're gonna do that we can share, we're gonna make this happen, because I felt awful. Well, we're gonna give them early occupancy. Awesome, I'll pay for it. Ended up being, having to get an updated appraisal on an FHA loan. I get a phone call from the appraiser. These people occupy this house? I don't think I'll ever be able to explain that feeling at that moment, because I'm texting the borrower like, please tell me you don't have anything in the house yet, please, and the flags out front, I mean, toys everywhere. I was like, oh my gosh. I told the borrower, listen, I need you to put everything away when they go take pictures. And appraiser was awesome. He was trying to help me. I mean, it was just, in the whim of trying to fix things, I totally forgot the major FHA guideline. So this whole time, poor Sharonda, I cried. You can ask her. I was bawling. I just knew I was getting ready to screw it up for this borrower again. I asked him to clean up, make it not look, take the picture down, whatever. I could act like it was staged. We get this darn appraisal back. It looked like all of us had partied there the night before. There's clothes everywhere, beds were, I was like, you didn't listen to a thing I said. So then I'm panicking, because now the appraisal's back, it's got to go through underwriting. I don't think I spoke or came out of my room that day. I didn't want to call the appraiser underwriter like, hey, have you gotten to it yet? Because I didn't want her to see anything. That bad boy came out approved. I ran as fast as I could. I need to close this 30 minutes. I have you close the package, we get it done. Because the thing is, if they would have paid attention to those pictures, and I know that sounds bad to say about my company, but I'm glad they missed that day. But if they had seen those pictures, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a new construction house. What is all this stuff? You are not allowed to have early occupancy on an FHA loan unless you've been renting that property for 6 months, and I have to prove it. Bills coming, whatever. So if you have an FHA loan, please do not give them early occupancy. It is, just because, what if we need a final inspection? They go back out there, and I get that one appraiser that I ticked off because I called 19 million times trying to get an appraiser, and then I have them coming back saying, borrower lives in this property. I'm done. You're done. That's 6 months, we can't do anything.
I have a question. What if they were going up and then trying to change in the middle of it? The situation I'm going through now.
To FHA, see, that's what happened with that one. So that's where, that's what I'm telling you, it was conventional, so I wasn't thinking the FHA guidelines. I'll just cry for you. Because it's trust, and it all depends again on the one person that we have to keep happy, which is the appraiser.
Is that the only occupancy rule for FHA?
Now, just like VA, FHA, it's 60 days to occupy the property after closing.
They have 60 days to keep it.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you.
30 days. Oh, okay.
I know that's something, how do I say this? I don't know of anybody that drives by and says, Lisa Duffy is not in that house, taking her vehicle. I've never seen that happen. I think that that rule is to put into play. Let's go back to VA for a second. Because of orders and Elliot, it's all about us proving that this is their primary residence. The one thing I did find out about VA was, how it used to be, unless they were not coming here for 60 days, their LAS orders and all that, you couldn't do it. You can now. If they're married, we have 12 months, which is kind of cool because the wife can come and occupy the property. 12 months, we know he's going to be here. We all know orders aren't printed within 12 months. What is that? I'm not a military, I just lived here all my life. What's that? What is it?
PCS?
No, what's that form where it lists all the people that are coming in, their socials? Nobody knows what I'm talking about? No, it's not the orders, it's the thing that comes before the orders.
It's DP form
Something. Like kind of where people are told, hey, you might be going here. That form. I don't know what it's called. We don't ever have to have that. But for orders that aren't done, we can use that. Get back to FHA. 3.5% FHA. Everybody knows that, correct? Any time that the 3.5% does not come from the borrower, is treated as a gift. Let's talk about gifts, those lovely, lovely gifts. Every time there's a gift, my grandpa's gonna give it to me, my mom's gonna give it to me, whatever the case may be. That's great. Go ahead and let them know I'm gonna have a gift letter signed, a 30-day bank statement from them, 30 days, not, I'm gonna print this out and wipe this out and black that out. Nothing can be taken off of it. And then proof that it left their account and came into the borrower's account. Oh, they'll have no problem with it. BS. Every time they tell me that, I end up getting yelled at by the grandpa or the dad. Why do I need it in there? I don't care what I don't care where they shop, I don't care what they do with their money. The thing that FHA is looking for is this, yes. If you have a borrower that's getting $10,000 from dad, we get bank statement from dad, dad has a $10,500 deposit and then withdraws $10,000 to give to daughter. I now have to address where that $10,500 went to dad. Not, oh, I had a yard sale, I tried that, didn't work. They want, FHA does not do cash, period. I have to address where it comes from. One of them was the guy's CD, he cashed out a CD, great, give me the CD paperwork, I'm not sending you that. What? I put down $10,000. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, we have to, there is no way around it, period. The termites for FHA. FHA does not require a termite right now for closing. I guarantee you that will change this year. The only time a termite is asked for is if you pay that bill on an FHA loan. Oh no. Okay. If you pay that bill on the CD, the closer's looking for it. Termite, 50 bucks, whatever the cost is, first thing I'm gonna get, stop. Where's that termite? If it's bad, now you've opened up that can of worms. I can't do anything until it's clean to move forward. Make sense? So FHA does not require a termite. If you pay the invoice on the CD, now you make me have to have the invoice and the termite report. Make sense?
And your mobile home limit was 3.5%, because a lot of people, they're not familiar with what you cover, like, you know, sometimes 3.5 would be like, you pay the appraisal, you pay, you know, the inspection.
3.5% is just the statutory investment.
Yes.
It doesn't go towards anything. That is truly, like, if you take $100,000 times 3.5%, 3.5, that has to go down on that loan.
Yeah, I got the part, but I'm saying what is covered with the 3.5, like people saying the appraisal, if you add that part of the 3.5%.
No, your 3.5 is just your statutory, like, you are required to, I think I know what you're asking now.
Yeah.
So say they put down $3,000 in earnest money due diligence, and the seller's paying all closing costs.
Okay.
That earnest money due diligence, yes, can go towards that, but it has to be their funds.
Going, yeah.
You guys can't cut commission to pay any part of 3.5%, you can't do any of that, okay? Did I answer your question? That's what you were saying,
Yeah, I was
right?
saying, so new agents can understand, because sometimes,
Yep.
okay, you have 3% close, you have to pay this, and you have to
Right.
pay that, you know.
Right, no, and you're right, so
They.
they can, any money that a borrower puts into a transaction
Part of that.
is part of, what the only thing that I do is if, like, let's say a borrower's paying $2,000 in closing costs, we all know that that's not gonna cover much. That means their earnest money due diligence first goes to closing expenses. Then what's left is applied to what they're having to put down. Make sense? 203K and NC housing are FHA loan products, so the whole occupancy, all of that follows with FHA. It's FHA guidelines. Your 203Ks, minimum 5% down, it's the same kind of product. You have to occupy the property because, again, you're following FHA guidelines. That's a primary residence loan, okay?
That's not covering the 7-day closing rate.
Heck
I was
no.
gonna say. And see, I know the NC is like high, aren't they?
No, NC housing's a good, they're a 24-hour turnaround time.
Okay.
The thing with NC housing is it's income capped based. So man, if they don't, I mean, we have to have full 3 years tax returns. Then you have to have the transcripts back to match them. I mean, it's a lot of information compared to the other products that we can get away with.
What's the max for NC housing, the income?
It depends on the family size.
Oh, okay.
So if you're doing the 15,000, you're capped at 62 for a family of 4. On the 3.5 and the 3% and the 5% NC housing, you're capped at 85. income. Now listen, NC Housing goes off of household income, just like USDA. Doesn't matter if they're on that 1003. Is there, am I talking Greek up here? 1003 loan application, sorry. On the loan check. So, Noreen and I are buying a house. Noreen's the only one going on the loan, but I'm at home bringing in income. You're gonna get caught. It pops up every time. NC Housing, they're through those banks. Noreen, what are these other payroll deposits going in on over here? I get questioned. Even if they're not on the 1003, Noreen's loan officer is gonna come to me and say, I need your 30-day pay stubs and W-2s, because they're gonna average that income to make sure that we don't go over. So whether or not they're on that loan application or not, it's income based on the household. So if you have mom living there that's getting Social Security, that counts. If you have me, anybody that's bringing in income, even the kids. Even the kids. I was like, they're 17, that's ridiculous. I mean, I fought and fought and fought and fought. I did not win. I had to supply W-2, they had to pull transcripts on them and match it, yes.
Even if they're a full-time student.
Full-time student, but if they're working, period. McDonald's, Burger King, any of that, they're working, they're getting it. Hey, can you go call Daniel? He's called me 3 times. And normally means I'm in trouble. Any questions on that, FHA?
What was the minimum down on the NC Housing?
Well, there's several.
Not the 203, but
And the 15,000?
Yes.
Nothing. 15,000, that's the grant.
that's
The 3 is just 0.5 is their responsibility. And then 5 is nothing.
What is the 3 and 5?
3%, 5%. So NC Housing has a $15,000 down payment assistance program,
Okay.
which is gonna go away soon, because you know we always run out of money about this time. There wasn't very many loans left last time I checked. Then you have, because this is gonna sound funny, you have FHA that has 3.5% down. There's a DAP for 3%, borrower has to pay 0.5%. And then you have the 5%, and they put down it's a grant for the 5% as well. Each program carries different rules. The 15,000 is forgiven after 5. For whatever reason, the 3 and the 5 is 10 years. Okay, we good? Am I in trouble?
We need to check on that one.
Oh, the lock, okay.
Tiff, you have 9 minutes before we gotta switch cards.
Okay. The last part's easy.
It's fine, we can just switch cards.
Here is a new product that's out, it's called Conventional Home Style. It is a 203K on the conventional side. You have, you know, the 203K where you basically you have to follow FHA guidelines, so you have to occupy the property. Conventional home style product, I was actually kind of scared of, I didn't know. 203K scares me, the whole rolling in invoices and draws scares me, but I did a home style product. I fell in love with it. It was 10 times easier than FHA, didn't require as much documentation, and there wasn't a limit as to what you could do. FHA is limited to, the 203K is limited to only structural issues. Can't go in a paint, can't add a vent, can't add a pool. Home style product you can. Home style product you can do whatever you want. So you have these investors that are out there flipping. Some of this, they want to use their own funds, this is good for them. There is limits to them. You can't do, it's limited to 50%. So if you buy it for 50,000, most you can do is 50,000. Well, probably 4,000, 49,999. You can't go over that. And there's a maximum of 5 draws. So just like the 203Ks, after you go to closing with what's going to do, and then you have 5 draws that come out to get the work done. An inspector goes out each time to make sure that the property's been done repair-wise to meet FHA guideline standards. Okay?
Do we have to put anything down? Do we have to put anything down?
5%.
And it can be
Nice,
owner
because if
occupied as
everybody
well?
knows, investment, second home, 20%. Now, they're still gonna have PMI, some of them do wanna do the 20% down, that's fine. 5% is the minimum, but you're still gonna have PMI on it. Still cheaper than FHA PMI.
Is the $25,000 guidelines still apply to this as well as to the dual free cash?
The minimum property,
Yeah, and then where, if it's under 25,000, you can just use one general contractor,
30,
30 then.
30,000
So if it's over 30, then they have to have a supervising.
from movement gets assigned, yep.
Can you go back one?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's
Oh,
the
I
least
don't
amount,
I'll just take a picture of it. I'm trying to
what's
write.
the least amount of that conventional, something that's, that they can borrow?
Did I go back? Okay.
The least amount that they can borrow?
We can't do a loan amount under 50,000. So if your sales price is 25, you have 25, they're okay. You know what I mean?
Tiffany, is that good for an owner-occupied property as well?
It is, it just fits. an investor a
Investors
little bit
really
better,
want.
yeah. Maximum 289 is the max that you can do.
So it would be valued after the repairs were done?
Correct, after. So house and. I think I got to go faster this time since I already went this way once. Okay, your closing disclosure, I put a copy in your packet as well for you. Everybody have it? Invoices, I checked with the attorney's office, they are getting a million times better. Don't send me invoices. Send them straight to the attorney that you're closing with. Because when they do that CD to send to us, when they send it to us, the title search, all those invoices should be on there. Okay, especially if your buyer is paying for them. You guys remember home inspection invoices cannot be reimbursed. You can pay them at closing, but they can't already be paid and a check be cut to somebody else. You can only have the invoice on the CD for a home inspection if it has not been paid. Okay? If you have invoices come into an attorney's office the day they close, and you're, oh, you know what, they've on the buyer side. You go over that 8 of a point threshold, you now open up the window for a redisclosure and you're not closing that day. A new loan estimate has to go out that day, so let's pray it's not 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so that's not gonna happen. Once the loan estimate's been issued, then a CD can go out and that's 3 business days from then. So you've now pushed your borrower off a week. Y'all can come hide with me behind the dumpster if that's where you find me. I hate those. There's no way in God's green earth you can get around that 3-day window, period. I've tried to finagle, nothing illegal, but ways of, there is no way. You have that 3-day, it's a 3-day, period. The only thing that movement requires to get a CD out is the title binder and homeowner's insurance. I'm gonna tell you now, if your buyer waits and waits and waits to get homeowner's insurance, that's the easiest one we get in this transaction. Especially when we supply a quote to you in the very beginning, it's sent to them. If they don't have their insurance back to me, that quote that I got for them is going in that CD and the CD's going out. If they choose to change it afterwards, that's their delay if it goes up. USAA is higher, we all know that. State Farm is a little bit higher. It's their choice who they want to use, but we give them ample amount of time to get homeowners insurance. Okay?
How much time you want in front before closing? 2 weeks?
I asked for it in their final approval condition, so I asked for it 24 hours after I turned the file in. I like the CD to go out that very first week of a file being turned in. That way it's in, it's back, I don't have any questions of, oh God, do we get the CD out, is it signed? Before we go over this next one, I just want to say something. When this Easy app first came out, you can ask my husband, I was not about it at all. I am a very old school, I got in this business a long time ago.
Is this a good time to change out?
What?
I have to change out the card.
you
Is this
shut
a good?
Yep.
Yeah, hold on a sec, sorry.
Okay. So the Easy app first came out, I was not a fan of it just because I'm old school. I literally used to type 1003s on a typewriter with the little carbon stuff behind, and then you fax in that 1003, yes, a fax, like a, takes a while to go through, to the credit bureau for the credit to be faxed back whenever they had the chance, and then you went from there. And really made me mad when you waited, good 3 hours for credit to come back and they had like a -2 credit score. So when the app first came out, I'm a person personal person. I like to be on the phone with these people. I like to hear their mood. I like to talk to them, figure out their information. Plus, I was always scared the app's gonna miss something. The app's not gonna ask about child support, alimony. It's gonna be something I'm not gonna be able to see, and I'm gonna issue a pre-approval letter, and it's gonna go away. I finally calmed down my nerves and tried the app this weekend, actually, Saturday. I was driving down the road, no, Friday night. I was driving down the road. I had a borrower, yep, oh yeah, don't judge me, I work and drive. A borrower, which by the way, McKee Homes, I'm a preferred lender for them. Not, it's movement can do it, and I know we were losing a lot of them thinking that we couldn't do, we can. But it was for McKee Home, they wanted to make they had other offers coming in, they wanted to make an offer that time, and even though she'd been pre-approved somewhere else, I didn't know if it was like one of those mom and pop places on the internet that takes 400 credit score and then you never get closing. So I was scared, I'm like, crap, what do I do? My son's got a baseball game. That app popped through my phone, man, I pulled credit from my phone, ran my ratios, was able to pull all the things, the questions that I was scared of, child support, alimony, all popped up right on my phone. As I'm calling the lady back and was like, you're good, I'm issuing the pre-approval letter, I'm sending it to you right now, because I can do that from my phone too. She's like, wait, you already ran it? I'm like, wait, please, Lord, tell me you finished it. I didn't just pull somebody's wrong information. She had. But the thing that's awesome about the app is you have places in that app to upload your documents. So they were still uploading. I already ran the loan application, put it all on the system, showed that, I mean, I could see their bank statements on my phone. I could see their pay stubs on my phone. So I could be like, you got alimony right here, what's this? You marked no, but I can see it. Shoots this up directly to our system. I'm not telling you that we're going to turn directly to the app, but it is great when I'm with my kids. Or I'm driving down the road and I can't pull my laptop off and pull over to put a loan application in. The feedback we've gotten is it's the easiest thing in the world to use. I want you to try it. I do. I want you to look at it. See, you can put it yourself. The thing that I like is I have all of you in the system. So it comes through, Meredith. Who is your agent? Meredith referred me. It tells me who it is. I'm contact, hey, I have someone for you that came through the app, wherever the case may be.
So your clients can use it, is that what you're saying? The app?
Put a whole loan, that lady put that loan application on in 2 minutes.
Really?
And a lot of them like that. They don't want to talk to me during the day when they're at work or around their people where they can't say, I make $4 an hour, $4. They can't say their income because they've got people on their business. It works for those things because she did it from her phone or you can do it from that, I mean, it's internet. Yeah.
I've had them apply from 20 to 72 years of age. 72 years of age, I was told that was the simplest thing they've ever done in their life.
I know. I didn't believe that. I'm like, whatever. And they showed me a birthday. I'm like, okay. So I'm not saying we're going to turn straight to this and the app. But if you've got one Maureen you're showing, open house, whatever the case may be, and they say, well, I just want to have a call right now, or their kids are screaming. I have one the other day. I'm like, I can't hear you. I'm not trying to put a social in, have to re-pull credit wrong or date of birth. I'm like, are you near here? I'm like, he would not. I'm like, tell these kids to shut up. And they were screaming. I couldn't hear a word he was saying. I'm so sorry. He was jumped right on that app, pushed it right through. I called him back. I'm like, now I can handle hearing them scream now because I can tell you what it is. But getting information from somebody, B sounds like D, D sounds like. How many times we get yelled at? Where'd you get B from? Well, I don't know. Maybe because it sounds like D and you didn't shut your kids up in the background. That's why. It's hard to hear over the phone when those things are happening, especially with kids in the background. My kids are around, so I say that. So we're going to start, we're not pushing it, but I do want it available for you guys to be able to put out. Well, great. You don't want to do that? There's a website at the bottom of our card. With these new changes that are coming out, we have new marketing that's coming available. We went to a class last week on it. It was pretty awesome. For your listings, whatever, you can actually co-brand with me for direct mail to go out. I just did a dummy poster card that kind of came out. I know a lot of you pay for things like these. The thing that Movement's now offering is, and it's so weird how we have to split 50-50. I can't pay more for you, for any agent, period. So the way they split it was, what is that word again? Pixels? Megapixels? Pixels? Who had more megapixels like on the page, and that's how they priced it. I'm gonna do a whole separate class on these things because it was amazing. You could go on, you need flyers for an event that you completely forgot about, and it's in 45 minutes. Do y'all know how long it takes me to do a flyer? Forever. This system that they've come up with, we watched her do it in 3 minutes. The agents can go on, and Amber can be like, I want this house, there's the picture upload, pulls everything from the MLS, puts my name, her name, boom, done, prints out. These flyers, postcards, I mean, there was so many things that went out that it was incredible to see what was offered. So I'm gonna do a separate entire class on that because I need to teach myself how to use it, then I'll teach you. The cool thing was that I like that you guys could log in, pick what you wanted done. We take care of the rest once you put the information in. I also like that when it does go out, referral, it tells me who sends me what. It tells me Amelia sent this customer. Or Sandy. She wrote off, it was the best idea ever, and if I had time, I would have done it with this, you see this slideshow, it took me forever. She put on the bottom of her card, referred by, and put her name. I love that, only because y'all do, I have a ton of people that come to me, and I'm like, and who sent you, I can't remember. Do you know how hard it is to describe what each one of you look like, trying to figure out the person that it came from, and I always want to make sure that who referred that person, it goes to that agent. That is very, very, very important to me. I want to look at, and real quickly, when I looked through this morning, it has the little thingies that you can order to stick to the back of your card, or my card, referred by, Mary Brand, referred by, Amber. It's nice, so when it comes to me, and I'm like, well, here's the card they gave me, I can flip it right over and see who the agent was. You know what I mean? Those are the kinds of things that are in this marketing tool, but I just wanted to show you that it's kind of awesome coming out. Does anybody have any questions so far? Nope. Nobody wants? That's really all I have other than to go over the closing disclosure with you. Does everybody have that? The most important part that I wanted to show you is this second page of the closing disclosure. Down here in section H, this is where all of your invoices should go. So when you get these, and you're like, gosh, I sent 5 invoices over the attorney, they're not on here. That's what you should be looking. Now, by that point, you can call me, I can run right down to the attorney's office and be like, hey, you're missing, I don't mind taking care of them. I don't want you to send me the invoices, because then I have to turn them to the attorney. Just send them straight to the attorney, okay? Does everybody understand the CD? That was kind of a dumb question. Okay. CD is the exact same thing. If you pay attention to page 2 and 3 that I put in this packet, it's the same thing as what HUD was. Okay? So if you flip to the 3rd page, it's page 1 of the HUD that you used to have. You have your sales price, your loan amount. This section down here is always a credit to your buyer. Always. That's where you find your proration of taxes. That's where you find your earnest money due diligence. Anything that the seller's giving is all on this page 1. Bottom corner. What is that? Section L. Always a credit. If you go back to page 2, that's where all fees, invoices, and everything should be listed. Kathy, this is where you were saying if the $50 for the termites on the other side. That's because there wasn't enough money for closing expenses for it to be included. You'll see a home inspection on this side. If the closing cost covers it, it can go on this side. It's fine. But this is, if you look, page 2 is the same thing as page 2 of the HUD when we had it. Does anybody have questions on that? No? Everybody good? Don't lose these packets. These are important. These are all your refer to, oh no, it's important. Everybody good? The word good?
Thank you so much.